many hearts have you broken with those great big beautiful eyes? Those great big beautiful eyes that tell such beautiful lies.
How many times have you kissed somebody like you kissed me then? I don't.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all ships at sea. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important message from the Prepared Mind Network.
Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
Well, hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Coming at you from the U-308 Prepared Mind submarine. Went down to the port today. Submarine popped up, jumped on board for a quick, couple hours of relaxation. I'm going to decompress from the world by being compressed in here in this big giant tin can. All right, everyone. It is a whacked out Wednesday, and I want to start with some really whacked out story / satire. But you can go find the news for yourself. It's right out there telling you how screwed up these people are. Folks, get this. Of all people in America to tell the LGBTQIA plus idiots to go screw themselves, and they happily do so, it is an all-Muslim city council in the state of Michigan that does so. They have banned the pride flag on government property within the city. They have a flag neutrality resolution, no less, right? No flags like pride flag, Black Lives Matter, or even Blue Lives Matter, for that matter, right? They've got 5 flags that are allowed, right? And the United States flag is one of them. Okay, the U.S. flag is one of them. Very interesting stuff, though, folks. Very interesting stuff. What are they tired of? They're sick of this crap. Now, the fruitcake community turned out on Tuesday's council meeting in opposition of this neutral position by the government. I think it's interesting. The government should be neutral with regard to political, social, religious things. They should, for the most part. Except in places and cases, I think, where having a moral position might be reflective of one's spirituality. I don't think bending over or dropping to your knees is necessarily a spiritual position to take. It's more of a good way to make $20 at a bus stop. And that's what these lefties are doing. Anyways, they're pissed off. One lady dressed in prison stripes and wore a red clown nose. And then, in order to make the point crystal clear, the fruit salad tosser decided to kiss her girlfriend in front of the Muslim city council because, that's really going to change their minds. Another ding-dong from California who moved to Hamtramck, Michigan, she thought it was a really diverse community. Well, sure it is, but they don't like fruitcakes. And fruitcakes they are, folks. Anyways, let me tell you a little about this Muslim community is not full of America haters like what's that one ding dong's name? Ilhan Omar. Now here's what one person said. One of the council members. His name was Hassan Aoun. And he says, I am a Lebanese person and I support the American flag. We are not going to sit here and tolerate you guys coming in here and saying, oh, it's Pride Month. If you're gay, no problem. He says, be gay by yourself. Don't sit here and throw it down my throat or anyone's throat. I think that's brilliant. It's not that he's a Muslim pushing Islam on people. He's just saying, we're going to be neutral about this. And don't shove it down our throats. I think it's interesting. Now, Rose Carver, the idiot wearing a clown nose, said, Hamtramck welcomes you if you're straight, yeah, there you go, Rose. Why don't you go kiss your girlfriend, Abi Iman, in front of the crowd? That's freaking brilliant. Brilliant. Now, in January, Hamtramck swore in its first Muslim mayor and its first all-Muslim council. There you go. It's only one. It's the only one, only city in the country that has all elected officials as Muslims. Now, if it was all Catholics or all Protestants or all Buddhists or all Jews or all Eastern Orthodox, I wouldn't have any more of a problem than I have with these people. You see, the problem is pushing one's spirituality or belief system down others' throat and making us choke on it. That's the problem. So they passed this neutrality thing, and I think it's just freaking hilarious to see how this goes. Will some court somewhere say, you can't do that? But it's not about public displays on public property or business. It's on government property. You see, that's the problem. It's government property. The government should not be promoting, shall we say, immoral belief systems on people. And that's what it is when they push this rainbow shit on all of us. Anyways, that was really what I found to be fascinating, just absolutely fascinating, is what is going on. The whole world is rejecting these fruitcakes, folks, and I think it is a very interesting thing. Now, on top of that, see, it's Pride Month, folks, and it's Whacked Out Wednesday. Oh, get your questions down below. Well, I'm here aboard the U308. We're going to take care of all kinds of business, not just wacky stuff, but I've got some more. Now, within the Catholic Church, we've heard the FBI wants to infiltrate the Catholic Church and monitor them and write names down and keep track of these people. On the other hand, we heard about this radical left-wing fruitcake Catholic Church. Which one is it? Well, basically, there is this thing called the synodal Catholic Church, which is trying to hand off morality and decency and say, no, we're gonna accept a secular LGBTQ agenda and push for a one world government and follow the United Nations and World Economic Forum bullshit. And so there is right now a civil war within the Catholic or Universal Church, which is what Catholic means, universal. So yeah, Cardinal Mueller is going after them all, as well as, is it Bishop or Archbishop Vignano, who we've talked about quite a bit in the past, who has come out and condemned these scumbags, right? Condemned them for what they're doing, right? Within the Catholic Church, folks, this is a fight for their souls. They believe that the church, one half of the church, is trying to basically sell everyone down the river and send them to hell, while the other side believes if we don't fight now, we're going to all die. And I think that's where a lot of us are. It's either time to fight or it's time to die. And I kind of covered that this morning in the 0 Dark 30 video piece I put together. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. It's exactly what's happening. It is now time to fight back. And I am finding it to be quite refreshing to see people fighting back. I like that foreigners who are here, they're done. They're done with it, right? They're absolutely done with it. Now, Fox News. That's right, folks. Fox News decided they were going to raise hell. They were going to raise hell. Well, okay then. Good, right? And another reporter, oh, I love how this thing is trying to erase everything. It just feels like YouTube, or rather Google, Gmail, wants to take my shit, and as soon as I click on it, throw it away. It's like, I didn't hit the delete button, you fuckers. Anyways, a question came from a reporter. Basically, he ambushed President dipshit Biden. And he says, quote, "Are there tapes that you accepted bribes, President Biden?" This guy is asking to be Arkansided, folks. But apparently he thought it was a good question to ask, and I do too. Are there tapes? Because Rudy Giuliani says he has tapes. He has the audio. Or is that Senator Chuck Grassley, Republican, who says he has tapes and audio and evidence and witnesses? Where is the Department of Justice? Have you ever heard anything so fucking crazy in your life? I don't think I have. I really don't think I have. That these people actually want us to believe that they are decent. Now, what I can tell you is the other day, a friend of mine shared with me some Facebook posts from some liberal douchebags. Now, what I found interesting is the liberals, these far left radical socialist perverts, because that's what they are. They're perverted. Their brains, their mentality, their morality is perverted, and that cannot be healed. They think that Trump is essentially the most evil thing they've ever seen, and that you and I, we're the wrong ones. And they can't have their minds changed, folks. So I believe that it's not just the little people that believe that. I believe it's the big people too, like Christopher Wray and President Biden, and even the Attorney General, Merrick Garland. Can you believe someone went to law school, got a Juris Doctorate, passed the bar exam, works within the legal system for decades, can be so fucking stupid and wrong and partisan and corrupt that they don't see what they're doing is wrong? Well, that is our federal government right now. So a reporter, well, I talked about one that asked Biden, are there tapes, audio tapes of you being bribed, you dumb fuck? Well, a reporter asked, and this was, folks, a mainstream media reporter asked Attorney General Butlick Garland about his role that he's played in this indictment process. Right? So the teabagger for hire, the Attorney General, had this interview, and this is what was said back and forth. The reporter says, could you give the American public a very clear sense of what exactly your role in the indictment process, just so people can understand what that role is? And that was ABC Media. Their mouthpiece queried Merrick Garland. And by the way, this ABC reporter also asked Merrick the Butlick Garland why there were no other alternatives than to indict Trump. So Merrick Teabag Garland had this to say, that what he did was completely consistent with the regulations and set forth responsibilities for a sitting attorney general under special counsel regulations, and I follow those regulations. I think he's a lying sack of shit, and he followed Biden's directive once Biden said Trump doesn't have executive privilege any longer. Clearly, folks, Biden has attacked his political opponent, a very shitty and even treasonous act, in my opinion. Let's see, violating the spirit of liberty and freedom and the spirit of the Constitution by the most powerful office is, in my book, another act of treason committed by Biden. Just like abandoning tens of thousands of Americans, causing the deaths of our allies around the world in Afghanistan, I think that was treason also. But Merrick Garland, he wants a handful of papers to be, well, such a violation of law, right? Violation of law. Oh, by the way, the Republican Congress, 20 Republicans, folks, refused to censor Adam shit his pants Schiff, the lying sack of shit, who the entire Trump presidency and then for 2 years of the Biden presidency have done nothing but lie, and then lie some more, grossly exaggerate, make up shit, and have no evidence whatsoever of any wrongdoing, while he smeared the president, the office of the president, the American people, and America in general in front of the world. And 20 Republicans won't even censure him. Folks, censor is like getting a demerit at school. It's a note that you've been a naughty boy or girl or fruitcake. And folks, Adam Shifty Shift is a very much fruitcake with extra fruit. Right? Why wouldn't they censor him for his fucking lies? Because they're compromised and they've sold out. Once again, folks, compromised, sold out. Compromised, sold out. And speaking of sellouts, former Vice President douchebag Pence says, quote, that he cannot defend what is alleged in the case against Trump. He can't defend against it? How hard is it to say the only defense is that you need to know is that those documents were unclassified by Trump? That's what I know, and that's what I stand behind. If they're declassified, how is there a crime here? And you walk away with that. I mean, is that not what Trump said? Is that not what his defense said? Have I missed a page in the book? If something's unclassified, declassified, then it is no longer classified. Crazy shit, folks. And we need to stop the wackiness coming out of our own side even. And I'm showing you how wacky the fucking Republicans are. In fact, Trump's attorney, Christina Bobb, seems to have taken a handful of stupid pills. Please, right? So, you know, she says, seriously, where was Florida's governor when this assault was going on in his home state? So, attorney Bob, I guess her partner Neil. So Neil and Bob criticized Governor DeSantis today because he didn't use his power to influence or intervene in the indictment against Trump. Well, because it happened in his jurisdiction. No, it did not happen. The charges are federal. The charges were not presented in Florida. The charges were presented in federal court. In a federal court over which DeSantis has zero jurisdiction and zero influence. It's a federal court, not a state court. In fact, folks, we got to get rid of this stupid out here. Any attempt to interfere or influence could be considered obstruction of justice or even suborning perjury by this absolutely corrupt Department of Justice and Attorney General office. They're scumbags. So why would anyone stick their nose into a federal jurisdiction and try and influence things and possibly get dragged into a case that's going to hold them at the very least in contempt and may even result in criminal charges against them? We'll get back to that in a moment, right? DeSantis can't act. He can't kick the feds out of the state until the legislature passes a law that he signs condemning the federal government as an unlawful institution and that it is no longer allowed to act or exist or hold business in the state of Florida. But that's a fight for the future. And it can't be fought right now. Lawyer bullshit is not good, folks, in this world where we need all conservatives pushing against the fruitcakes, pushing in the same direction against the socialists. That's what we need. Right? Enough of the bullshit. I want it to be done. Right? We have so many good people coming together right now. Right now. Right? And in fact, Ron DeSantis, Governor DeSantis, he might be indicted by these flaming Marxist fruits next. Right? No, he shouldn't have done anything to defend Trump. He's not Trump's lawyer. He doesn't know all the facts, right? And it's a federal case, not a state case. We, folks, America, we're in a precarious place indeed. Trump, the leading presidential candidate for the whole country, has now been arrested and indicted over bullshit charges. And the second most powerful Republican in the whole country, Governor DeSantis, powerful because of his political influence, powerful because he, folks, is very popular. That's where the power comes behind the president, their popularity. Do the people support him or not? Never mind the fact that they're working for the fucking corporations. But be that as it may, Democrats, folks, fear DeSantis almost as much as Trump. Though they hate Trump with the greatest of their pervy passions, it is DeSantis who represents probably a better conservative perspective. Look at what he's done in Florida, right? He's gone to bat against woke Disney and other woke corporations. He's gone to bat against, right, critical race theory, the LGBTQI idiots, all of them he's fighting right now in the state of Florida. Good. If DeSantis, folks, interfered, he could be charged with interference. He is next, folks. When they're done with Trump, they'll come after DeSantis. If they can defeat Trump, convict Trump, and jail Trump, they will come after DeSantis next. You can't trust these Marxists, folks. They're socialists. Even when you haven't violated any laws. Once again, I don't think I'm going to allow myself to be arrested anytime in the next, 50 freaking years. Now, I want to commend people in Congress who are trying to do something. Like the congressman who, after Marge Taylor Greene decided she was going to roll up and drop some impeachment notices, which got ignored. Now we've got another Republican senator who has a plan to basically stop the Department of Justice, the Attorney General's office, put a stop to it altogether. Now, he said the right words until the very end, but it's action that matters. So this is what he said. Just let me read you what he said on this Wacked Out Wednesday. He says, it's time we stopped just whining about this problem and debating this problem and actually do something about it. I like that. He says, I've announced today that I will be holding all Department of Justice nominees that Merrick Garland will use, if confirmed, not to enforce the law impartially, but clearly to harass his political opponents. He says, I think we have to grind this department to a halt until Merrick Garland promises to do his job and stop going after his political opponents. And I got to that last sentence. I thought, what did he just say? We're going to stop helping him and stop confirming people into the Department of Justice and Attorney General's office until Merrick Garland promises to do his job. His job, you mean like investigating and then prosecuting crime like the Biden crime family? Until he promises to go after, I don't know, the rest of the world that is breaking the law in the Democrat Party. Anyways, promises. No promises. A garlic, Butlick, Marand promise as the Attorney General, folks, isn't worth a squirt of piss, in my opinion. How about making him prosecute Hunter and Joe if he wants any funding, any support, any nominees passed, or any action taken on behalf of the Justice Department? The Justice Department. How about a little justice before we show him that we are going to support him and help him? Anyways, I understand what he's up to. I understand he's trying to make a case. He's trying to make something happen. He's really trying to get things rolling. Perhaps they need to go nuclear. Well, they don't really have nukes. Unlike the president of Belarus, Lukashenko. That's right. President Lukashenko, folks, came out and said, hey, if Western nations attack his country, he will not hesitate to use nuclear missiles. That's right, folks. That is absolutely right. Other leaders around the world have had it with this Western, shall we say, slide down the razor blade riddled slide of stupidity that they're hauling ass down to destroy Western civilization. Now, Fox News called Biden a, quote, wannabe dictator. They had at the bottom of the screen, they had a little block out there that Biden's a wannabe dictator. So the Washington Post and Karine Jean-Pierre, the idiot extraordinaire for the White House, they decided that they wanted to bash Fox News. Folks, Biden is a wannabe dictator. He wants to be that. Folks, the Congress wants him to be a dictator. But all he is a dick. Same with these left-wing fruitcakes, folks. Even though he insults them as much as he insults blacks and other minorities, Biden is truly, folks, a dictator in the making. He is a controlled clown, as much as the lesbian wearing a clown nose who wanted to impress upon the city council in Michigan that, you know, fruitcakes are there and they want to be represented. They want to have their flags on government buildings. Sorry. These people are that dangerous, folks. That dangerous. And truly, right, President Lukashenko was likely serious. Likely very serious. Right. By the way, and this one goes out to Uman and Jolene, but especially Uman, who is suffering up there, up north right now, while I'm basking in the U308 glow of soft lighting. Uman is basking in near stupid land in Chicago. Did you know that in the first month since the communist mayor has taken office, Mayor Johnson, the crime has risen 38%. That's right, folks. If there were 100 murders in Chicago last month, well, the following month, they've got 138 murders. Right? That's quite a bit more, wouldn't you say? If the 100 people have been shot last weekend, now it's up 138, you know, on average, because the crime rate's gone up 38%. Almost, folks. Wow, unbelievable. So why? Why did that happen? Shouldn't the people of Chicago be thrilled that they have a black mayor? Or is it that criminals don't respect them? They don't respect them not because of race, folks, but because they know they're soft between the ears. They're idiots. They're soft on crime. And criminals don't respect communists, folks. They don't. They know they're illegitimate, so why should they obey anything? Why shouldn't they just do what they want? In fact, the criminals in Chicago and other cities look at their corrupt leadership, the corrupt Democrats running their cities, and they know they're corrupt. And they're like, why should we obey the law when they don't? So let's sell drugs. Let's run prostitutes. And many, many other awful things besides that. Isn't that just interesting, folks, how this all works? Again, interesting. It's interesting how these people suck, right? I think it's a good idea that we call our congressmen, that we email our congressmen and tell them to not just censor Adam Shitty Schiff. Don't just censor him. Throw him out. He's not just a liar. He's an anti-American sack of shit. I am sick and tired of these people. And folks, I don't want anyone to do anything violent or dangerous or stupid. I just want people to wake up. Just wake up. I think it's time to wake up. Now, Americans are speaking up, as I discussed this morning, folks. Right? Green Berets. The press is even waking up. Even children, right? Why? Why are they waking up, right? Well, how about this? FEMA has now given, or is set to give, $363.8 million. Well, who is the Federal Emergency Management Agency going to give $363 million to? That's $1/3 billion. Well, they're going to give that money that they have stolen from you and me, and they're going to give it to non-federal entities, private charities, organizations, and things that they can get their 10% on, right? Non-federal entities, and they're going to give shelters to illegal aliens. So the federal government is going to give money to an organization so it can raise the property values by artificially screwing everyone else over, buying everything they can to house illegals. So now Americans are going to have to pay higher real estate costs because they're creating federally created housing shortages in some areas. Way to go, Biden. Way to go, FEMA. Way to go, bureaucracy. Folks, what a screw job. What a screw job. Yep. It is now time for the inner circle where you guys get to ask your questions. What is it that you have on your mind? What's important to you? It's the second half of the show. It's a Q&A. It's a question and answer. And if you're on the preparedmind.club, or if you're on subscribestar.com, right, with the Prepared Mind, you've paid $2 huge dollars, and it's 7 cents a day. It goes into our cha-ching big cash register to make sure we stay on the air, or rather on the fiber optic, on the internet. So yeah, I hope we got some great questions coming from you. Ooman is checking things out, and Jolene is checking things out. They've got a system back there. And let's do this. Let's take a look at what you want to talk about. It is the Prepared Mother saying, hey, Silver Eagle 78's here. And he says, how many states have made it legal to kidnap your kids if parents don't pander to the LGBTQ crowd? Well, let's see. I think we got Wisconsin. I think we've got Washington State. I think we've got California. Those are the three that are occurring to me that have actually done it or proposed it. It is a change. It is a piece of legislative crap that I think can easily be challenged in court. That a minor does not get to choose anything for themselves, especially surgery, right? Especially surgery that changes your entire life. A minor is not allowed to make those kind of decisions. If you can't join the military, if you can't own a car all by yourself, right? If you can't get a loan, why should you be able to cause irreparable harm and damage to your body, your endocrine system, and your mind with mind-altering, body-altering, endocrine system-altering drugs just because your teacher and the television have told you it's a great idea? All right. Michael Brown sent a super chat donation in the background. Thank you, Michael. I imagine that means he's here and he's going to have a question to throw at us. I can't wait to get it. Michael Brown usually challenges the fuck out of me, and just which is what I love about this audience. You guys come at things from all these different angles, and I value that. I appreciate it because it makes me think. It challenges me. In fact, that's why I like talking to people. We can all be, shall we say, good Americans. We can all be our own philosophers, if we want to even go that direction. We don't believe each other 100%. We have our own minds, perspectives, history, education. We have our own lives that we reflect against things on. So it's great to share because I get to learn from you guys and I get to think about things differently. And that's why we do this every day. I talk about shit that interests me, and then I say, what interests you guys? Right? What interests you guys? So let's see what's on your mind. Once again, right? once again, let's do this. We got do stuff with Nikki. She says, well, I don't have a question, but I was listening to AM radio as usual this AM in the morning. And Nikki, I got to tell you, I wish I had the time. I really do. The fact that YouTube, Google, and every other social media platform has done all they can to screw us over. So right, I have to go out and I just don't have time. I don't have time anymore because of work. Just like you guys, I don't have time. That's how bad they fucked everything up on the planet, folks. So that we have to go out and we have to get 2 jobs to make ends meet and stay here on the air. You guys do a great job of helping. Anyways, Nikki says, I was listening to AM radio as usual this AM, and they were commenting on Trump's speech at the restaurant stop or whatever he did. And finally, he came out with it. Instead of the years-long swamp, deep state, etc. tags, he just flat out called them commies. Well, it's about time he take John's advice that actually made me think a little different. Hope he keeps that up. I do too. That's who they are. They're stinking communists. Calling them socialists is sprinkling sugar and cinnamon on them, giving them a kind of a sweet aroma and taste. Right? No, they need to be fed to Tyrannosaurus Rexes. They're communists. But he ended up going down into, I guess, Little Havana. He went by some Cuban restaurant / stores. The people down there were just fabulous to him because they're anti-communists in that area of Miami. The Cuban community knows what communism / socialism does. It steals your will to live. It steals the incentive to work hard. It steals your dignity, your respect. It'll steal your fucking soul if it gets a chance. Communism is evil. So yeah. Oh, by the way, in one of the places that President Trump stopped, guess what? Guess what? They sang happy birthday to him because it's his birthday. And guess what? The news media hated it. In fact, if anyone can put up the name of the news guy that hated Trump the most, chose to fight with him every day that he could in the White House press room, while conservative press members are silenced and ignored in the Biden administration. And when they do speak up, they say some funny shit. But this dickhead was always there fighting with Trump. Do you remember his name? Anyways, he's still on the news, and he threw an absolute fit that the people of Florida, the people of Miami, the people of America love Trump even more now that he's been indicted. I seem to remember that when Clinton was impeached, the Democrat Party was very upset, pissed off, and turned on him. Right? Because, yeah, he's a scumbag. But with Trump, they know it's bullshit. It's political persecution. Absolute political persecution. And the people aren't turning on him. Are not. Wow. Right? Wow. Just fucking wow with everything that's going on. What a wacky frickin' day, right? You know, Hillary Clinton, she had to attack Trump. Does she think she's going to be president? Right. Like that's going to happen. Unbelievable. Right. So, anyways, where are we at today? Yeah, that's right. It's whacked out Wednesday. The prosecutor, by the way, Jack Smith, the federal douchebag stooge. This guy, you look at him, he looks like a criminal. He looks like, normally you look at a prosecutor and you're like, hey, that guy, he probably knows what he's doing. You look at this guy, he looks like he just got done serving hard time at San Quentin. Right. Okay. Anyways, he forgot to tell the grand jury about the Clinton case, and he forgot to tell them about the Presidential Records Act. He just kind of omitted that. Can you believe that shit? He just omitted it. He forgot about it. The Clinton case, folks, is about the president being allowed to have secret documents. Whoops. Forgot about the Presidential Records Act. Whoops. They just leave that out. So once again, the government is falsely attacking, well, the president. He's attacking decency. Right? That's just who these people are. It's what they want. It truly is. All right. Apparently, nobody knows it was Jake Tapper. That's the CNN douchebag who threw a fit. I think the reporter was Jim Acosta, says man. That was Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper. Wasn't he the one? Yeah, Jake Tapper. I think Acosta was also a douchebag. Who was the bigger dipshit? Who was the bigger wacko of the media? That's it. I'm bringing you on, man. I'm bringing you on right now. We're going. Let's have some fun. There he is.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Mr. man. Thanks for checking in and working with us every day. And thank you, Jolene, who chooses to be behind the scenes all the time. Was Acosta a bigger dick, or was it Jake Tapper who was a bigger dick?
I think Acosta was the bigger dick because he's the one who had his press pass yanked, and that all went to court, and they made him give it back to him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just Tapper. I mean, I can't stand either of them. That Jim Acosta, Jake Tapper. I mean, talk about a horse race.
Yeah, either of them. Jeez, I can't stand any of them. They're all a bunch of douchebags. So. It's like voting on the stinkiest pile of dog shit, you know?
Right. Yeah. That's about it. All right, man. I got to share this with you. Are you ready for this one on this wacky fucking Wednesday?
Oh, sure. Why not?
This Disney idiot, Disney star idiot named Demi Lovato. Have you ever heard of her?
Yeah, I've heard of her. She was one of those child stars. One
child star, right? That no one gives a shit about. Hey, you were on Disney. So was Annette Funicello, but nobody remembers her either. Anyways, this idiot has decided that her pronouns are now she and her. You want to know why?
Okay.
Because having people use they and them to refer to her was absolutely exhausting. They're getting sick of their own shit because it's too much work to remember and remind everyone all the time.
Yeah, they're such dimwits. They probably get confused when you talk like that.
Yeah, they can't figure out who the fuck they're even talking to. Hey, giraffe. No, the other one. Yeah, next to the fire hydrant. You know, I like the fact it was last week a guy got fired from some tech company because he was asked to fill out some bullshit for HR at this tech company, and they want to know what his pronouns are, and he said, I think chosen by God or selected by God. You know, so it's basically saying my gender was selected by God, and they didn't like that. He wouldn't take it back, and he's like, you don't get to tell me what my pronouns are, people. So they fired him. So now he's suing their dumbasses for what do we call it? That religious persecution, religious discrimination. Good.
Yeah, all this suing stuff is ridiculous too, though. You know, I mean, Coursera sent me an article before the show, and it was about some Starbucks employee. I guess she was a black female, got fired, and they listed the cause for firing her being inability to manage or something like that. And
she was white.
No, was she?
She got fired, and she sued them for being because she got fired for being white. Won $25 million and another $600,000 in punitive damages because she was fired for being white. It was Starbucks.
They claimed she claimed discrimination. So she got $20-some million. I was like, what the hell? Seriously?
Well, I read into the case because I like to be thorough, and the facts of the case were that Starbucks didn't take any actions against black employees, but continued to reprimand and punish white employees And then they made him take, special classes and everything else. But they fired her because she was some kind of regional manager, and she didn't do her job, I guess, well enough. But she said, no, and they fired me because I was white, and that she was able to prove in court that they punished white people and let black people off.
Well, in that case, that's a good thing, I guess. Let them start coming back the other way.
Of course, it's a civil trial, not a criminal trial. So, they got enough jurors to go, yeah, this looks like discrimination to me. And hey, discrimination is discrimination, right?
Yeah, it shouldn't matter. You could either do your job or you can't, and then you get to either keep your job or you don't.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I mean, it's, who was it? Some Asian fella suing Harvard and a couple other colleges, or maybe he's just doing the press circus run right now before he sues the fuck out of them, because they denied him entrance with like a 4.7 GPA because Asians are overrepresented.
Because they're overrepresented. Yeah. That's
you smart little Asians,
You're just not the right minority.
Yeah, you're not. That was it. I think that's what he said, is you're just not the right minority to get help. Anyways, it's I don't know.
It's all
actually mentally wired for math or something, or do they just really bust their asses because they want out of, being poor?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the culture they're raised in. They're raised with discipline, and they're raised with a huge focus on school and education. So obviously they're going to excel. If you let your kids run around like these idiots in Chicago here last night, stealing cars at 3 a.m. and causing all kinds of trouble, shooting at people, I mean, you're not going to get Harvard graduate math wizards.
No, you're not. You're not going to get Harvard graduates out of people who are out in the swamps all night shooting gators. Shoot them, shoot the gator.
Yeah. Well, that's 1 gator. That's 2 gators. That's 3 gators.
Yeah.
I can math.
Didn't we used to count alligators when you play football, tag football? 1 alligator, 2 alligator, 3 alligator. And you could rush the quarterback after like 5 alligators.
Yeah.
Anyways, alligators. Oh, right. Thank you, man. I just had to bring you on for that one. That one that one floored me. I'm tired. I'm so tired. It's absolutely exhausting using stupid pronouns to try and make myself feel and look special. It's like, oh, welcome to the party, you fucking idiot. You finally figured out how stupid you look and sound.
Yeah. I know. It's all going to bite him in the ass and backfire in the end anyway. So I can't wish that end was coming.
I'm thinking in that Michigan town, they're probably going to have rapid deceleration rooftops for people to get thrown off of now. You can fly your flag up on the top, and then poof, they're going to push them off the edge.
Yeah, right.
And I'm not recommending anyone do that. It's a little satire.
I'm just glad to see that there's some pushback happening, and it's just sad that it has to be one protected group fighting back against the other protected group. It should just be the entire country as a majority based on common belief system, not what they hyper focus on these, small little radical groups, Yeah.
Well, it suits their agenda. I just think it was fucking great that in Massachusetts, the teachers actually, apparently they're in trouble for glaring at teachers. They tore up the pride shit. They wore red, white, and blue. They chanted, USA are my pronouns. Good for the kids. I mean, since when do kids revolt by being patriotic? That's how sick the students are of this shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the same thing with the Armenians, stomping all LGBT flags saying, leave our kids alone,
That made me very happy.
Oh, that was hilarious. And then, the funniest part was, you see all these, independent videos, and it was like all the cameras were like taking obscure shots and stuff. But then as soon as the first white guy showed up, they all ran over to that white guy. Look at these bigots.
Right.
If you see the mainstream media coverage, they're all getting them like from the back and trying to like not show their faces and stuff. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, it's actually it's hilarious. It's also sickening to me, Oliver.
Yeah.
I just because they're the media is a bunch of fanatics.
Yep.
They're zealot, fanatic troglodytes.
And it's also sad to me that so many people in the country still believe everything they just see on the news. You know, well, I saw it on camera. Yeah, well, you saw one angle of the camera. You didn't see what was happening in the peripheral and on the other side, you know?
Right. Oh yeah, that's what I find fascinating about the January 6th footage that is out there. And you see exactly all of the corrupt shit the cops were doing and the federal agents in the crowd and everyone else. You can see the Antifa, you can see the feds, you can see everything. Yet we still have January 6 people being thrown in jail for years over what they did. But, you know, fuck it.
Unbelievable.
It's on.
All right. I'll let you get back to it, man.
All right, bud. Thanks. All right, let's do some more. I know we're running out of time. We're ticking down our last 10 minutes here on this afternoon thing. And now we got Garbage Binny saying the World Bank intends to punish Uganda for its anti-LGBTQ laws. Now, most Ugandans, says Garbage Binny, are on less than $1.77 a day. The lie is that Uganda is poor. It's not. The people live off the land and are self-sufficient. I don't know much about Uganda other than they don't like fruitcakes. They don't like this pride shit. They don't like this one world crap. They don't like being told what to do by other nations. Now, the World Bank, folks, the International Monetary Fund, the bank only lends money if they like you, if you kiss their ass, if you do what they say, if your laws are in line with their agenda. That's right, folks. The bank has an agenda. The bank has an agenda. So when Uganda said, you know what, we're done with your shit. So the bank says, we're going to punish you. We're going to sanction you. We're going to deny you what you need. Does that sound like they really give a fuck about Uganda and its people and its culture and its belief systems? Or does it sound like they're going to shit all over the Ugandese? Well, folks, shouldn't we look at this and go, wait, isn't Uganda an African nation? Aren't they black? They're not African Americans. They're African Africans. They're Ugandese. Isn't this racist of them? Isn't this cultural destruction of an African nation? Or are they, here we go, right? Here we go. That's right, folks. The World Bank is no friend of mine. And they're going to continue to try and punish me and you and all of us because we are revolting. We are rejecting their shit. And I think it's the right thing to do. The same way it was the right thing to do for the Green Beret to say to CDC Director Walensky, said, quote, I really look forward to you testifying about your involvement in murdering 38,000 Americans. ... Jim Jones juice. Okay, let's go on. Jolene, who wants to step up next? It's Charles Gentry. He says, glad John is giving us some good news. Our young are starting to wake up. Gives one hope for the future. Hey, it's their future. If they want to bend over, take the juice, take something up the old poop. If they want to allow themselves to get run over, then that's their fault. That's why I look at all these fucking fruit salad idiots that are ruining themselves. It's like, hey, you just destroyed your own life, not mine. We're going to get through and over this shit. Thank you, Mr. Gentry, very much. Let us see who is up next. And it is name redacted. He says they have been naked communists since the Clinton years and political correctness. He says, John, what chance do we really have when we know without a doubt the same cabal, that would be the deep state, killed JFK, President JFK? That this same cabal was complicit at best in 9/11 and gave us Operation Cerveza-Bug. What chance do we really have? Folks, we have a great chance. And let me explain. I'll share my opinion. It's not that I'm an eternal optimist or that I'm invoking faith in some unknown thing, but look at how fearful they are of us. Look at how much they fear you. You, America. You, men and women of America. You, patriots. You, veterans. You, active duty servicemen that love this country, our Constitution, our culture, our way of life. They fear us. That's why they have to call parents domestic terrorists and bring the FBI to fucking school meetings. It's to intimidate people because they're afraid of us. They're afraid of us. That's why they have to attack the Second Amendment, which they're losing as an argument, by the way. Even the courts are holding up the Second Amendment saying, oh, no, you don't. It's because they fear the fact that we have the power and authority. That if we get pissed off enough, we have the right, capital R, a right to throw off that government, which is violating our rights, and establish new government, new securities to protect our liberties. See the Declaration of Independence, which is not only enshrined by its reflection in our Bill of Rights, but it is constitutional, or shall we say, sovereign law, because it was the justification for telling King George to go fuck himself, and that stands and was used, right, as the foundation on which the next block was laid, that being our Constitution. That's right. What power do we really have? What chance do we have? We have a good chance because they are afraid of us. They had to kill Kennedy and but blame a lunatic. The American people were like, who is this Lee Harvey Oswald guy? That wasn't it, folks. The people in the know in Washington, they knew it was the CIA. They knew it was the Dallas Police Department. They knew that J. Edgar Hoover was involved to a degree. They knew that the CIA was fully involved. They knew that the Pentagon, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, was heavily involved. They knew that LBJ was heavily involved. They knew that the mafia was heavily involved. And they knew that Cuban, shall we say, exiles were heavily involved. Not the Cuban people, folks, but a bunch of radical, militant, anti-Cuban Cubans, anti-communist Cubans. And that because Kennedy didn't like the CIA running its own private fucking war, using these Cuban militant exiles, that they thought somehow he was a communist for not supporting an illegal, unconstitutional effort to invade another country without an act of war or presidential consent, i.e. Bay of Pigs. So yes, this cabal, same one, was involved in 9/11. But instead of attacking us directly, they attacked our liberties. They attacked our laws. They passed the Patriot Act. They passed the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, to create more government power and authority and to give themselves the excuse to take War International into the Middle East and the Cerveza bug. They fear you and me and our free speech, the First Amendment. So they silenced us. They censored us. They punished us. They destroyed our free speech on the internet, social media. They punish us at stores. They punish us at our jobs. They punish family members by attacking us. That's how much they fear us. If they didn't fear us, if we weren't powerful, if we didn't have the right to and the capacity and capability of kicking their asses right off this fucking planet, they wouldn't be fearful and try and stop us. They would just come out and arrest us all. They would come out and trash us all. They would come out and just start killing us. But they can't do that. They can't. So they have to be sneaky little bitches and attack us through social media and attack us by having our bank accounts closed down, like PayPal. Pile of shit, PayPal wanted to punish me. And they did. And many others of you in this audience, I know, have big issues with PayPal and other banking institutions for having an opinion and not buying their shit. They punished this channel over Cerveza bug, over the Jim Jones juice. They punished this channel, me, you, and others, right, for talking about what? Elections, talking about the World Economic Forum, anything. They're afraid of us. They're afraid that our version of reality, as satirical and cynical as it is more believable than their pile of shit story. And I know that I've gone a little long on this. I know. I get it. But I think that was a fantastic question to ask. And I thank you very much for it. Jolene, do we have more? We got Mikey G. Says communists are never voted out of power, only through violent revolution. When communists run the show, that is correct. That is correct. They will lie, cheat, and steal. They will arrest their opponents. They will come after us through the media and through police power. And you know it's on when communists have 100% power. They don't. They don't have the power, and they can't have the power because of our Second Amendment. They start pulling that shit, and it's on. It's on at a local level. If you're city council, if you're sheriff's department, if some state organization wants to start violating the rights of people out of hand, it wouldn't take long to organize a response force. They keep pushing it, folks, kind of like the Boston bomber. Yeah, they went into the town, they shut everyone down, they did a, what do you call it? When they lock people up, tell them to go inside, curfew. And they went door to door asking and looking, violating people's rights. That could have gone a number of different ways, folks. But they showed that they really have not enough people to do what they need to do. They can't afford to hire enough cops and military to truly attack us. So they have to use their psychological games, fear, and their corporate partners to punish us. Fuck them. Folks, you either stand for what's right or you don't stand at all. You stand for what's right or you don't stand at all. So that's where I stand on everything. I hope you do as well. Chance favors the prepared mind. And God bless you all, patriots and lovers of liberty and freedom. Semper Fi. And I'll see you 0 dark 30 in the morning.